What if I told you one of Silicon Valley's most successful billionaires didn't go back to business school, but instead enrolled in a one-man night school taught by former US President Barack Obama? Sounds like a fantasy, but for Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky, it was real life, and it may have been the most important decision of his career. As a commentator on business leadership and modern entrepreneurship, I often look for the turning points, the behind-the-scenes moments where a leader evolves, not just as a CEO, but as a human being. This story, it's one of the most intimate, surprising, and thought-provoking examples I've seen in years. In 2018, while steering Airbnb toward a historic IPO, Brian Chesky was quietly attending a different kind of class each week, one without tuition, textbooks, or lectures, but packed with wisdom. For an hour every week, he would get on the phone with none other than Barack Obama. And yes, there was homework. I had my day job during the day, and then I had night school with the former president, Chesky told Michelle Obama on her podcast. He'd give me assignments, and it changed my life. Let's pause there. A sitting CEO of a billion-dollar tech company actively carving out time to be mentored, not by a fellow founder or investor, but by a former head of state. That's not just unusual, it's unprecedented. And it says something powerful about Chesky's mindset. Even at the top, he knew he hadn't finished learning. What Obama taught Chesky and why it mattered. Obama's mentorship wasn't about politics or policy. It was about leadership, relationships, and meaning, topics tech founders often treat like afterthoughts. Obama warned Chesky about becoming a self-driving car, a leader on autopilot, disconnected from intention. He pushed him to think deeply, not just about profits, but about people, about connection, about purpose. This advice struck a chord. Chesky, like many tech leaders, had spent years grinding 100-hour work weeks, scaling Airbnb from a quirky startup into a global hospitality empire. But even as the valuation soared, something was missing. No one told me how lonely it would become, Chesky confessed. I had old friends that were middle class, and I'll be honest, a lot of them seemed happier than me. It's a brutally honest admission, and one we rarely hear from billionaires. Success in Silicon Valley is often portrayed as a straight line. Raise capital, scale fast, go public, get rich. But Chesky's reflection exposes the emotional cost, the disconnection, the existential drift that can come when your identity is fused to your company's stock price. Obama's counsel was simple but profound. Institutionalize your intentions. In other words, don't just talk about your vision, bake it into your company's DNA. Make sure that, even as you scale, you never lose the why. This reframing became a compass for Chesky. It helped him shape Airbnb's culture and protect its mission, even under the pressure of Wall Street. The loneliness of leadership and how to fix it. But here's where the story gets truly human. Chesky didn't just take Obama's advice on how to be a better CEO. He took it to heart as a person. Obama encouraged him to invest more in his relationships, not by sending birthday texts once a year, but by showing up consistently, authentically. This wasn't about networking, it was about reconnection, real connection. It reminded Chesky of something startling. Despite all the money, influence, and success, many of his middle-class friends seemed happier. Why? Because they weren't chasing endless growth. They were living. They were connected. And it's here that Chesky touches on something rarely addressed in tech culture: the myth of total success. The belief that if you just win big enough, you'll be fulfilled. But as he learned, success without connection is just isolation in a nicer house. Lessons for all of us. There are two standout takeaways from Chesky's journey with Obama, and they apply whether you're running a startup or just trying to find more meaning in your 9-to-5. Mentorship matters more than ever. In an era obsessed with self-help books and hustle culture, Chesky's story is a reminder that wisdom isn't always in books, it's in people. Mentors don't need to be presidents, but they do need to challenge you to think deeper than your KPIs. Reconnection is the real-life hack. In a world flooded with notifications, likes, and digital friends, the best ROI might come from reaching out to someone you used to know. An old friend, a forgotten mentor, a real human connection. I think the vast majority of people, if they reach out to someone will want to help them, Chesky said. Final thoughts. What this story really tells us: we often glamorize the grind and glorify the genius founder. But this story, it reminds us that the best leaders are also learners. That success without purpose is a hollow trophy. And that even billionaires need mentors, guidance, and real human connection. Brian Chesky's Night School with Barack Obama isn't just a quirky headline, it's a blueprint for a different kind of leadership. One where vision and values walk hand in hand. One where personal growth matters as much as profit margins. And maybe, just maybe, it's a reminder that the most important homework isn't what we do for school or work, it's what we do for the people around us. And the legacy we leave behind.